Hey everyone, it's Seeker, and today what we are doing is we are going to go through this bag of old coins. The majority of these coins are silver. You can see that we do have some Benjis. It looks like that's a Morgan a piece dollar. We have some Walkers. You can see this is the back of a seated Liberty quarter for sure. So lots of different stuff in here. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to dump this out. We're going to go through it and get it all sorted and value each one of the coins, or at least most of them, depending on what they are. Guys, what do we need to do that, though? So let's take a look at the tools that I'm going to be using today. Okay, so everything I'm going to be using today is right here, essentially. We have our CPG and Redbook. We'll be using our Redbook for minages and other information. We'll be using the CPG for a much better pricing system. We got our loop. This is very important to look at coins. This is a 40 power loop. This is the one I love to use the most. We have ourselves a stapler. Of course, we're going to need the staple, the 2x2s, which is what we have right here. So we're going to put the coins that are of value in some 2x2s. We're going to staple them down. We're going to write what we think the grades are and, go from there. So we're going to use the Redbook and the CPG as information to do that, guys. So again, let's get started. Let's look at these coins. One other tool we're going to be using today, guys, is our coin scope. That way you guys can also see what I'm looking at. Here, for example, is a 1971 Kennedy. I just happen to have sitting on the desk. We put it under the scope just to show you that we are also using this scope today. Okay, guys, well, here's the bag. Let's go ahead and get this dumped out, and we're going to start going through it. So we want to be gentle. I mean, these coins are pretty beat up, but still, you want to be gentle as you can with them, and we're going to just kind of sort through and see what we have. So you can see here we got a Barber. This is a Barber half. It's a 1907. Ooh, we do have an 1892 Barber half, so that's kind of cool. Here we got a 1923 piece dollar. We got a 1922 piece dollar. This is an 1887 O Morgan silver dollar. And we got an 1891 O Morgan silver dollar. Looks like we have a Benji 1958. We got a Benji 1953. Benji 1950. Got some more half dollars here. So we got a 1914 Barber, 1944 Walker, 1943 Walker, 1937 Walker. So that's the big coins. Not bitcoins, big coins. We do have a Standing Liberty quarter. This is dateless, and it is a Type 2. You can see on the back it has the stars under the eagle. We have, this looks like an 1880, well, this can't be an 1884. So it's got to be an 1834 bust quarter. Can't be an 1884 because those weren't made in 1884. We have ourselves an 1897, 1900, 1899, 1907. We're looking at Liberty nickels here, by the way, 1901, 1909, 1912. I don't know if that is a mint mark or not. If you guys don't know, the only Liberty nickel to have a mint mark was 1912. We got an 1899, 1905, 1901, 1901 again, 1907, looks like an 1898, oops, I dropped that one, 1902, 1911, and a 1902, another 1911, and an 1893. And guys, just by looking at these, at a first glance, it doesn't look like we're going to have much in the way of Liberty nickels just because of the condition. 1909 and 1904, alrighty. We got another Barber here, 1914, unless I already saw that and I didn't put it in the pile for some reason. We got an 1892. This is a Barber quarter. Put that right there. All right, so here we go. We got a bust dime. That's an 1834. That's kind of cool. We'll put that next to the bust quarter. Here we got a seated Liberty quarter. This thing is absolutely destroyed. In fact, let's use our scope for the first time. Right there. That literally is nothing. So you can tell that it's an 1859, and it does have arrows, and arrows and rays. So it has arrows and rays. I don't know if that year had all arrows and rays. We'd have to look. But this thing is absolutely destroyed. I mean, someone drilled a hole through it, looks like, attempted to repair the hole that was drilled into it. And, yeah, All right, so we do have a Mercury 1923. We have a 1912 Barber dime, 1897 Barber dime. Here we go, seated Liberty half dime. This looks like it's an 1857. Seated Liberty half dime, also 1857. Seated Liberty half dime, 1853 with arrows. Let's see, this is Canadian. Yeah, I think that's Canadian. It's hard to tell what it is. Just knocked over my Barbers, I think. We got an 1898 barber dime. We got ourselves an 1900 barber dime. This is another Canadian. This is 1902 Canada 5 cents. That's their half dime. Let's see, we got an 1854 with arrows. Is that right? Seated Liberty. Okay. We have an 1857 Seated Liberty. These are half dimes right here. And it looks like the final one, we have a 1906 barber dime. So what we're going to do is we know what we got, kind of. We're going to set these aside. I mean, we're going to keep them on the screen here. We're going to set these aside, though, like so. And we're just going to kind of go through stuff that I think is going to go pretty quick. And then we'll go to the slower things. So we got these half dimes here. So we already took a look at this. This is that 1859 Arrows and Rays Seated Liberty Quarter. This thing is absolutely destroyed. I mean, there's really nothing good about this except for the fact that it is silver. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look in the red book for that one really fast and just see what the mintage is, just out of curiosity. Okay, guys, doing a little bit of research, I was able to determine that that's actually an 1853, not an 1859. So 1853 was the year that they had arrows and rays on the coin. It was to designate, obviously, a change in the amount of silver that was in the coin. So we'll take a look and show you on the book here. So we got on the red book, it's 1853. This has a mintage of 15.21 million. At G4, it has a value of $25 according to the red book. Guys, we're not even going to bother with the CPG for this because this is, again, this is just 100% destroyed. So there's nothing we can do with that one. But, you know, it's cool. So I'm not even going to bother putting this in a 2x2. We're just going to throw this aside, and we're just going to put it in a bag of junk silver for silver melt. All right, guys, the next thing we're going to take a look at is our stack of Liberty nickels here. Now, I'm just going to do a quick eyeball glance at these. Essentially, what I'm going to be looking for is to see if I can read the word Liberty across the headband of any one of these. And let me go ahead and show you under the scope what that looks like. Okay, so the headband right here, she has the word Liberty written across her headband right here. All these are already common dates. I know that when we were just originally sorting the bag. But we're going to be looking and see if we can read Liberty. If we can't, then these are just going to be put into a little bag of Liberty nickels that I have a bunch of. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and keep the scope up on the screen. And again, I'm just going to look really quickly, so we're not going to take too much time on these. All of these are common dates. Even the 1893 is a common date. And so far, these are all just heavily circulated. You got 1902, 1898. None of these you can see even one letter of Liberty on. All right, so the 1901, let's just throw it under the scope really fast. It's really close. It's really close. The back of that is too circulated. We're probably going to go ahead and pass on that as well. 1901, nope. We got 1905, 1899. So 1912, do we have a mint mark? That is the only year they had a mint mark, and no, there is no mint mark. If you guys are wondering, the mint mark, I will show you, would be about right here. So if this had a mint mark, it would be right near this left dot. But nothing in that one. We got 1901, 1909, 1907 might be close. We'll grab, well, we can read the majority of Liberty on this 1907. So we'll look at that in a second. We got an 1897, 1900, and 1899. And these are all just heavily circulated. And okay, guys, over in the scope on this one, we are really close. So we got L, and then the I is missing, and then you got B-E-R-T, and you can see most of Y. Unfortunately, for it to be fine, you need to be able to at least read the entire word Liberty, and we cannot see the I, and we can only see part of the Y, but we can't see the I at all, and that's the biggest thing. So this is about a VG condition, and to be honest with you, the rest of the coin does kind of match. You can see it's really flat around this area, and then right here, we got this big gash. Now, the gash isn't part of its, natural grade, as far as wear, but it is damage to the coin, that scratch right there. We'll take a look at the reverse really quick. I mean, the back of this coin is pretty much in line with what a high VG / low fine would be. But again, the front of it, I don't see any major problems, but the front or the obverse of this coin, unfortunately, we are not going to get a fine out of this because we are missing that I. So what I'm going to do with this 1907, we're going to put that in a 2x2. But the rest of these coins, we're just going to put into a little pile, and we're going to put them in a baggie, and just mark them liberties, and then we will add them to the other liberties later. So we did get one. Okay guys, the next thing we're going to take a look at is our pile of Morgans and Peace dollars. So there's not a whole lot of them and we can get through them pretty quickly. We have an 1891 O for the Morgans and an 1887 O. So we'll take a look at those first. Now both of these coins, these years, they're only really key dates in better grades. They're actually pretty common in low circulated condition like you have with this one. This one is roughly about a VG. It's just really dark, but you have no rim wear. None of the letters are wearing into the rim at all. So even though this is really dark, it looks like it might be a lower grade. It's actually not. This is around a VG condition-wise, and we'll look at that at the scope. And then right here, guys, this is an 1891. Now this one here I would put around a fine to a very fine, and we're going to take a look under the scope really quick with this one just to get a better idea of what this actually is. So let's get over to the scope. Alrighty guys, looking at the 1891, we're looking at the obverse right now, and for me, looking at the obverse like this, it really does look kind of like a VG. I mean, all this area right here is worn completely flat, and you can actually see the dirt that's been collecting on the wear right here around the cheek, behind the eye, and places like that. It does look a little bit better than fine around here, but right here is just totally worn down. So it almost looks like someone kind of just rubbed this with their thumb a lot, like it was a pocket coin. On to the reverse. So what we're looking at on the reverse is definitely a fine. If you look here, you still have detail like separation in the feathers over here on this wing. Over here, it is a little bit flatter, which is definitely, unfortunately, disqualifies it for being a VF on the reverse. This is definitely a fine on the reverse. You got a fully flat breast, so that's definitely in line with what a fine would be as well. So this one right here, guys, like I said, with the obverse, you know, we got VG details right here, but the rest of it looks to be in fine condition. And then on the reverse, I mean, this is definitely a fine on the reverse. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a fine as far as the grade is concerned. At least to me, I think this is definitely a fine coin. Okay, guys, according to the Red Book, an 1891 O has a mintage of 7.954 million. At fine, it doesn't actually list fine in the Red Book. The Red Book starts at very fine. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do much with that, but we're going to grab the CPG. Okay, so with the CPG, we have your 1891 O. At fine, it puts it at about $30 at retail. So I would imagine that if you bought this coin at, at wholesale, you'd probably be able to get it for around $24, $25. $30 at retail is what it puts it at. Now remember when I said the 1891 O and the other one that we're looking at as well is one of your key dates, but only in better grades, and that is because if you look over here at MS60, it's $234, $260 at MS62, and over $400 at MS63. So that just goes to show you that this coin is definitely what you would consider a key date in uncirculated grades, but in low grades, unfortunately, that does not warrant being a key date. Okay, guys, with the 1887 O, looking at this one, this is definitely a VG. This is just completely worn flat on the back. Again, completely worn flat on the face. So right here, you can see this is the same detail we were seeing on the other one with the worn flat area right here. But remember, we said the rest of it had more of a fine detail. Well, this one is just completely VG. This one would not get anything past that. So we're going to give this one a VG. And we're just going to throw this into basically a bag of Cull silver dollars. So this one I'm not going to worry about putting in a 2x2. But since we are going to give this 1891 a fine grade, we will go ahead and put it in a 2x2. All right, everyone, the next thing we're going to look at are the 2-piece dollars. Now, we're only going to spend a couple of seconds on these because clearly they are heavily circulated, and 22 and 23 are just common dates. So nothing really special in there. It does look like we have an S and a D, so the 22 is an S and the 23 is a D. Let's just flip over to the scope and take a look and verify that. So yes, we do. So that is an S mint mark here and a D mint mark there. And as far as the condition of these guys, I mean, these are definitely circulated. Anything under like an AU or XF on a piece dollar is really just a Cull at this point, just too common for these common dates. So we're just going to go ahead and take these 2 silver dollars and we're going to put them in our pile of Cull silver dollars. Alrighty guys, there you go. That is the first of this series looking through that bag of coins. It was too long to do one video, so we're splitting it up into multiple videos. Let me know what you think in the comments though, guys. And over there, we left you a couple of videos to check out, and above us, you can check out coolstacks.com and subscribe. We will see you in the next one, guys.